Hello sir, I am Jennifer Espasco and I am the first reporter of our group. And together with my group mates, we will start reporting the topic Biological Perspective to Sociogenic Approach. Biological Perspective A. Heredity, or it is called nature. Heredity is the process by which features and characteristics are passed on from parents to children before they are born. Examples: physical, mental, emotional, and moral traits. It begins at the moment of conception between egg and sperm cells. During fertilization, when the X paired chromosomes meet the X chromosomes of the mother, the result is a female offspring. When the Y chromosomes from the father meet the X chromosome of the mother, the result is male offspring. A substance called DNA is found within the genes, which is the code heredity. The inherited traits. There are two types of inherited traits. One is physical traits, are traits inherited that are physical in nature. Examples: color and shape of eyes, texture of hair, skin, shape of nose and face, etc. Second is mental traits, are those intelligence and special talents inherited. Examples: musical and artistic ability, intelligence and mathematical ability. Biological theories. Somatotyping advocated Ernest Kretschmer, 1888 to 1964, which explains the cause of criminal behaviors based on the physique to various psychotic patterns, asthenic and athletics to schizophrenia. There are three types of physique. First, asthenic, lean, slightly built, narrow shoulder. Second is athletic, medium to tall, strong, muscular, coarse bones. Third is picnic, medium height, rounded figure, massive neck, broad face. William Sheldon, 1898 to 1977, an influence of somatotype school of criminology, which related body build to behavior, because popular in his own somatotype theory, which maintains the belief of inheritance as the primary determinants of behavior and physique is reliable indicator of personality. Classification of body physique. First, endomorphy, have low specific gravity, typically relaxed and comfortable disposition. Second, mesomorphy, athletic type, predominance of muscle, bones, and connective tissue, normally heavy, tough, and sting. They are people who are routinely active and aggressive, and they are the most likely to commit crime. Third is ectomorphy. They are thin physique, flat chest, slender, poorly muscled. They tend to look more fatigued and withdrawn. Evolution theory. Charles Darwin claimed that humans, like animals, are parasites. Man is an organism having an animalistic behavior that is dependent on other animals for survival. Thus, man kills and steals to survive. Charles Goring's theory claimed that criminals are physically inferior to normal individuals in the sense that criminals tend to be shorter and have less weight than non-criminals. Criminal anthropometry. A proponent of Cesar Lombroso, who was the first to connect crime to human evolution. Criminals are atavistic or throwbacks to an earlier, more primitive stage of human development. Phrenology. It comes from the Greek word mind and logos, knowledge. This theory claims that to be able to determine character, personality traits, and criminality on the basis of the shape of the head.
Good day, sir. I am Kevin Roy Entienza Pigues, and I am the second reporter. Environment nurture. All the circumstances, people, things, and events around the individual that influences their lives. It includes the internal prenatal period and the external postnatal period of child's development. Example, family, friends, school, home, and other agencies on interacts with. Types of gene environment interaction. Passive. Type of interaction that is noticeable in the child rearing policies of the parents and is influenced in part by the same genes that shape their offspring. Evocative. An interaction that focuses on the belief that some qualities of the child's intelligence and personality that are shaped by heredity evoke obvious responses from the environment. Active, an interaction that makes people to find experiences that would fit in well with their intellects, motives, and personalities that are influenced by heredity. Human development. Basic concepts. Human development, the continuous process of a varied changes through life. Growth. It changes in size and structure. The individual grows physically and mentally. Hence, growth is quantitative. Development, a pattern of change that begins at conception and continues throughout lifespan. Maturation, the unfolding of traits potentially present in the individual because of his heredity endowment. Learning is a permanent change brought about by experience, maturity, and performance. Curation Principle, COX, 1970. Learning depends upon the biological as well as the opportunity to practice. Chronological age and maturational age, all thought related, are no synonyms. Although overall maturational development is forward and continuous, the parent should expect plateaus and regression in the child's development. The more biologically a child is, the easier for him to learn a given task. They usually give signals indicating his maturational readiness for a given task. The child's maturational development progress from general to specific behavior. Training given after the maturation readiness may be less efficient.
Stages of development. 1. Prenatal stage. This stage is the time from conception to birth, which consists of 280 days or 9 months gestation. Periods of prenatal stage. Zygote. Fertilization to the end of the second week. Embryo. From the second week to the second lunar month. In this period, all structures and features start to function. Fetus starts from end of the second lunar month of birth. By the end of the 8 months, the fetal baby is completely formed. Infancy covers the period from birth to the second week. This is the shortest and the most dangerous period. The infant displays different reflexes like papillary, gurgling, grasping, and etc. Babyhood covers the period from 3 weeks of life to 2 years. Patterns of behavior at this stage will determine the individual's adjustment in later years. This is called the formative years. Skills are developed during this period. Childhood covers from second year to 10th or 12th years. This is called the formative years. Skills are developed during the period. Puberty covers the latter part of childhood and early part of adolescence. Adolescent. This period is from 13 to 19, the teen year of a person's life. The adolescent is considered a young adult. Adulthood. The stage begins from 19 to 40 years. The adult is considered a responsible person. This is the longest stage of development. Middle age. This developmental period covers 40 to 60 years. Old age. This period begins in the 60s to senescence or end of life.
Aspects of human development. Physical development refers to the advancement and refinement of motor skills, or in other words, children's abilities to use and control their bodies. Physical development is one of many domains of infant and toddler's development. Example of physical development include sitting, crawling, standing, and walking. Motor development means the physical growth and strengthening of a child's bones, muscle, and ability to move and touch her surroundings. A child's motor development falls into two categories: fine motor and gross motor. Example of fine motor skills include clapping hands, cleaning teeth, picking up, putting on shoes, and putting object down. Cognitive development means the growth of a child's ability to think and reason. This growth happens differently from ages 6 to 12 and from ages 12 to 18. Children ages 6 to 12 years old develop the ability to think in concrete ways. These are called concrete operation. Examples include talking with your baby and naming commonly used objects, letting your baby explore toys and move about, singing and reading to your baby, exposing your toddlers to books and puzzles. Theories of human development. Social learning theory suggests that social behavior is learned by observing and imitating the behavior of others. Psychologist Albert Bandura developed that social learning theory open and new as an alternative to the earlier work of fellow psychologist B.F. Skinner, known for his influence on behaviorism. Gender schema refers to mental structures that organize incoming information according to gender categories and in turn lead people to perceive the world in terms of gender. They also help people to match their behavior with the behavior they believe is appropriate for their own gender. Approach toward delinquency. Biogenetic approach start with the fact of biology as the basis for theories and work up to the human case by asking psychological questions as if they were biological questions. Psychogenic theory of consciousness is proposed, suggests presuming the existence of physical phenomena unique for the living brain and brain fields, and their role in the origin of the subject state. The Sociogenic approach focuses on the secondary causes of pain and distress, example the social reaction or consequences of pain behavior. This approach is a radical departure from the biogenic and psychogenic models which focus on the primary antecedent causes of pain and distress.